There's a lot of people making jack-o'-lantern boxes around Halloween, but this is not a jack-o'-lantern box. This is an all-season lantern box. You can convert your box from a Halloween box by changing the insert. You remove the top and the insert. The insert is just thin plywood. You can then insert any design that you've cut out. Here's one for Thanksgiving. Here's one for Christmas. Here's one for Valentine's Day. Here's one for St. Patrick's Day. You know, everybody's Irish one day a year. Another nice thing about this box is that you can make your designs show up more by changing the paper that's on the back here. And you just use these little battery operated tea lights or some kind of battery operated light. I wouldn't be putting a real candle in here. This is wood, it will burn. I'm going to show you how I built it right now. For this box, I wanted it to have a patina look, an aged look on the wood. So instead of buying new wood, I waited till my neighbor wasn't home and I took up some of their deck boards. After we got the deck boards free, I was able to use my pneumatic nail remover and clean up the boards and remove the nails, prepare for the project. First thing I did was cut these side pieces 18¼ inches long over on the miter saw. You could use a circular saw, a jigsaw, even a hand saw. What's important is that you get the two pieces the same length. I then pulled out the old router table and cut the grooves in which the inserts slide into. But you don't have to use a router table. You could use a freehand router with a guide, a table saw with a dado blade, or multiple passes on a single blade. There's more than one way to do this. You could even use strips of wood to create a channel for the insert to slide into. The table saw did come in handy to cut these 3/16 inch plywood pieces to length and then to width. But honestly, you could cut those with a circular saw, a jigsaw, whatever method you have available to you. I went back to the miter saw at that point and cut 3 pieces to about 11 inches long to use as the back pieces on the lantern to hold everything together. Then I was able to do a dry fit and then glue it up by putting glue on the end of the boards that were going to fit in the back, put them into position and clamp them into place so that they would dry into place. I secured them whenever they were clamped using 18 gauge brad nail. If you don't have a pneumatic brad nail gun, you could even screw these into place. Just some way to hold them, so that's where the rigidity of the project will come from. You could even bypass the whole glue up and brad nails by using pocket hole screws, screws through the side boards, or even nails. Just some way to structurally hold it together. Since I wanted the top and base to be wider than the sides, I was going to do a glue up. So I went back to the miter saw and I cut 4 pieces about 15 inches long. I then went over to the table saw, ripped those to 3.5 inches wide, glued them together, forming a 7-inch wide board. Once they dried and the glue up was done, I was able to take those pieces back to the miter saw, square up one end, and cut them to the final length, which is about 14.5. And then it provides a gap all the way around. It's wider and longer than the body of the box. With the base and top cut to size, I was now ready to glue the body of the lantern to the base. And I just used glue and some clamps, and that's going to be secure enough. I didn't secure it with any fasteners. There's no screws or nails or brad nails. After all, this is just porch art. It's just art for the front porch. This is not a monument. If you're getting anything out of this video, please give it a thumbs up. Now I was ready to pull out my homemade scroll saw built from a jigsaw, and I have a video on that subject if you're interested on how to build one. But basically it's just a jigsaw turned upside down through a board, and then I could cut out the inserts. I made my designs that I wanted on each insert. I can make more designs, more inserts in the future if my wife wants them. and this can be very versatile. Of course, you could cut these out freehand with a jigsaw. Please tell me in the comments which of these you like best. Don't forget to subscribe. I hear my wife calling, I gotta go. You're still here. Click this box if you want to see how I made the other jack-o'-lantern boxes.